welcome back. I got to make sure everything works. Oh, check 1, 2. No, it's not working. Well, that was fun. Check 1, 2, test. Okay, so that works. There we go. We're recording. Welcome to episode number 41. And this should be really interesting. See, it always happens. You don't talk for hours and all of a sudden you start to talk and you generate a cough. Excuse me. I have the perfect thing for that right here. Well, this episode is twofold. First of all, we should say that yes, this is an episode of a series based on my healing. Healing from 2 cancers that they said that I had, actually, prostate and aggressive bladder cancer, without chemo or radiation. Why is my camera moving so much? That's probably because of my arms hitting the dash. It's chronicling it. This is the 41st episode of the whole series, up and downs. Well, this week it was down, and unfortunately we have to talk about that. But first, for some people who like Roman numerals, I really got into that when I was a kid. I really like Roman numerals. Ever since I started doing the series, it became, 10 was X, right? And then 20 was 2 X's, and then 30 was 3 X's. And then, as I'm showing here, you go through the first column on the left and you read it going down. So, you go down and you find 40, which is on the second column, and it says XL. And I'm going, really? And then I thought, and I said, oh, okay, the X goes first because L is 50. As you can see in the next slide, L is 50. So it's something that I really wanted to work with and do properly. So I realized ever since episode 40, I've been writing this wrong, because episode 39, as we can see again real quick, is XXX, and then 1X or IX, meaning 9. So this is where it starts, because I wanted to correct my error. So this is episode 41, which is XLI, or 1. And I think it's kind of cool. And the website is on top of the first image. For anybody that's interested, just, pause the video and write that down if you're interested. It's really cool. It's 1 to 1,000 numerals, Roman numerals, 1 to 1,000. I was raising my eyebrows. I thought I was right in the 30s and 40s, and I forgot what 50 was. But then when you get to 100, it's C. It's really interesting, and it taught me a lot. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff I was interested in. So, welcome to episode XL1 or XLI. To write it properly. This is like the temporary deflated tire episode, because that's really what it was. And as I write the article for this week's show, I don't even have a title yet. There was so much to say, too much to say, and not knowing how to generalize, and so many things going on that affects the whole, as they say. So welcome to this week's show. And yes, all of a sudden, now the title shows that, this week has been a harder one, with harder spasms day and night, to the continued 2-hour stretch of a sleep. So, the pattern's taking a toll on everyday things that I'm doing. And it's the realization that, yes, okay, so perhaps, we do have to tone down a little bit and go with it, right? So, it's a terrifying concept, but sometimes you do have to slow down. And what I want to do is just shut up for a second and show you this first slide. It's priceless. So let's reiterate a little bit. You have permission to rest. You're not responsible for fixing everything that's broken. You don't have to try to make everyone happy, which is impossible when you think of it anyway. For now, take time for you. And yes, it's time to replenish, okay? And that's really important. It's really important as far as a message for me, because I'm really surprised. And we're going to get into updates, because I was really surprised to see that, you know, it's general weaknesses, you know, just weak, tired, slow going this week, very, very little energy, heavier breathing, slower in reaction times. You know, you just, all of a sudden everything weighs so much more. And I had to get used to that. And it's like, you know, I'm on Facebook as usual, sharing and educating and trying to share the message, but that really wears me out a lot quicker. Okay. So I get headaches, which are more frequent also. That could be right up to the 5G conspiracy going on, because we're all on 5G now. It could be, you know, it could be explosions on the sun that cause solar wind, whatever you believe in. It could be all kinds of things, because today I don't have a headache. Yesterday I didn't have one, but it was 2 days in a row that I woke up with a headache and I went to sleep with one. They were more frequent. And I'm still on the 2-hour uninterrupted sleep pattern. And yeah, you feel like a deflated balloon. And then I said, no, perfect title, Deflated Tire. That's exactly what it feels like. And as I got this show ready, what happened? A Facebook post comes right into my face, and that was the image that we just saw, you know, telling me to chill out and that I should allow myself time to regroup and fill her up, as they say, right? Challenging to say the least. But for me, it's got nothing to do with ego anyway, so it wasn't that hard. So this is my week. Trying to find encouraging words to push myself forward and to look inward. You know, dear self. Okay, let's look inward. You know, it's not too easy to look inward. We're going to talk about that in a few seconds too. Looking inward, okay, although it's blurry and you can't really see well, you begin to shortly, like, you know, in your meditations, when you start, things aren't very clear. You can't really see that well. And then all of a sudden, after listening and paying attention to your content and to what you're going through, you start to see. And see is right, dear self. And I want to pause again and let people look at this. So my grandmother would always say, so I ask you, you know, and this is my way of asking you, you know, I would say, so I ask you, how many times have you talked like this to yourself or with yourself? How many times have you addressed yourself and talked to yourself as a loving person like this? You know, like a friend that puts their hand on your shoulder, like my 92-year-old neighbor that just kind of, you know, says, hey, dude, you know, I'm there, you know, you're beautiful. Thanks for being strong and transparent, you know, thank you. You're awesome. Your willingness to love after being discarded and forgotten is admirable. You know, whatever resonates with us. I could read that whole thing and it wouldn't really hit me that hard. But being discarded is a strong word. It's a powerful sentence. And that tells me discarded because you're working on yourself and you're trying to become an eagle and you're trying to fly like an eagle. You can't fly like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys, right? So this is where it really, really gets hard. So it's basically a timeout. And it was like, okay, you know, timeout, at least for a while, you know, and it's like, the hardest thing for me is to be able to sit and, you know, it's okay to do nothing when your energy is so low energy wise that your body's telling you, you know, no, you need to sit and re-energize and recoup. It's scary. Okay. And I mean, I understand when you come back from the operation, okay, and things around that make that happen like that, but all of a sudden, out of the blue, you know, you go shooting maybe 1 day or 2 days in a row. You go do exercise outside, you feel great. All of a sudden, the next days are like, whew, you know, like 40% less energy or more. So I had to wrap my head around suddenly needing more to be sitting in the chair longer periods of time again and slowing down. Okay. So nowhere to go but up from here. Nowhere to go but up. So there's little change also in number 2, going to the bathroom, what happens in the rectum area due to what I believe is compression between all organs. They're so tightly placed together, and experiencing so many changes at once. My system wants to go number 2 as soon as it starts to feel the spasm from the second flow of urine after the first flow is done. Sometimes more serious than others, but it's a fart after a fart after a fart. It's like a lot of air going out. And people say that's normal when you get older, I suppose, but still, it brings blood in the urine during cleaning. No pictures needed. I don't need to be too explicit, but occasionally it happens, you're out and about and all of a sudden it's like you have 30 seconds to comply. I don't know if anybody's seen, what's the movie RoboCop? If anybody's seen that, you have 30 seconds to comply, 30 seconds to find a bathroom. Good luck if you catch my drifts, and I really, really hope next week will be better. But for now, this is where we stand. And what I want to do is finish off this week's episode with a really powerful video that, yes, got dropped in my lap again, just like the other one. And I'm going to shut up again. It's not about me. This is about you. It's about the person watching this. It's about what we can teach each other or educate each other on. So I'm going to leave you with this, and I'll show you this as we fade out. And I'm going to leave it on for a while because I want people to really read it and then reread it if you can. You can put it on pause and screenshot it. By the way, screenshot, I don't know if people know how to do that. You hit shift and print screen at the same time. You hold down shift and you go to print screen, and you hold both of them down at the same time. Then you go to paint, and then you paste, and it'll be the picture that appeared on your monitor. So anytime something's really, really important in your face, oh my God, I got to record that, and you can't record the image. Shift print screen is your best friend. So thank you so much for listening. I don't want to get technical at the end of this because we're talking about an untechnical voyage inside. And we're most people, more men than women, but some people will argue that to the death, but I say a lot of men have difficulties going as far down as their emotions. Let's say the emotions are here, right? And all the drama and all the toxic shit is up here. Well, this is where it starts, okay? This is where your emotions are. Most men have a hard time with that. I'm talking about going lower. I'm talking about going down here, lower than your emotions, further down than your emotions. Like this meme will say at the end, wishing you the courage to listen to the messages beneath your emotions, even deeper than that. That's what tells us how, what good people we're trying to become. We'll see you next week.